think it would be fair for people to accuse me of being a bit of a hoarder. And going beyond cars, I also collect things like this, all sorts of little antique gadgets and gizmos. And my parents actually picked this up for me at a charity shop in Wexford. It is an Irish-made Bosch BI26. Now, it does share a likeness to a particular English-made model, but the casing is the main similarity there. The English model actually would have FM on it. This does not have FM. However, what this does have is it has a marine band. Now, if you have a look down here, you can see it's got the gramophone, long wave, medium wave, short wave 2 and 1. Okay, so shortwave 1 would be the marine band in this case. Or actually, sorry, shortwave 2, trawlers. Now, the reason why this would have had that is because in Wexford in Ireland, which is down the southeast of Ireland, there was a lot of towns and villages where a lot of people would have worked in the maritime industry, be it fishing or otherwise, mainly fishing. And this was a way for families to keep in touch with what was going on the trawlers. So they were able to listen in on how things were out at sea while they were sitting at home in the comfort of their living room. And then when the sailor or boater was back in at shore safely, they could listen to the radio or the gramophone if you had one of them. So this one, when I got it, was looking a bit sorry for itself. So I basically stripped the varnish off the cabinet and I revarnished it. Now, it's kind of veneered wood, so some of the veneer did come off here. You'll see by the way my hand is in a bandage. That's a story for another day. Basically, I put an impact screwdriver through the web of my hand. So, yeah, kind of sore that. But I did restore the casing of it. As best I could, anyway. I mean, I'm no furniture expert here, but I think it looks quite smart now. It's a nice piece of furniture for the house, and I didn't stop there. I actually went into. I started working on the electronics of it as well too. Now there is still some work to be done, but if you see there, everything's looking nice and clean inside. The pots were all cleaned up as well too, and the electronics were checked for safety. I resoldered a few dry joints, but there's a couple of capacitors that need to be replaced. All the valves are working, and the nice thing about this having the gramophone input is actually that it allows an extra input, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide a Bluetooth receiver inside this casing, maybe stick it to the top up there, and just hide it out of the way and wire it into the circuitry. So it will basically bring this 1950s radio kicking and screaming into the 21st century. Yeah, I mean, I have tried it already by connecting it into the gramophone input, and it does actually work. But what we'll do is we'll turn it on. Now, bear in mind this is a valve radio, so it's going to take a bit of time to heat up, but we'll wait. You have your little sight glass there as well too. Now the idea behind that is that there's a green beam of light that comes up on a reflector up here, and in order to tune, when you have the radio station properly tuned in, the beam of light is at its widest. So hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate that to you. But ooh, valves. I love valves. If for no other reason, they just look so cool. But there are other reasons as well too. It's my dream to have a valve amplifier as a hi-fi amp at home, but they are just so expensive. Now, this will work until things start to heat up, and then what will happen is the sound will drop out and it'll start pulsating, and I believe that is because there's a dead capacitor in it and it will require a replacement. So it is a job to be done. We'll go back down that way, we're getting some reception.
Drink out of it, but he was wrapped up in blankets, but what got me was he gave into the lake. Oh my God, I found it.
It's none other than Moni Joe on RTE Radio 1. Jesus.
Even when I just tried to talk to him, I said hello to him, and he didn't even lift his eyes, like. He just stood there.
He's for those of you not living in Ireland, he is a stalwart of Irish radio. He does a phone show on RTE Radio 1, which is kind of RTE's flagship radio station. They play a lot of alternative stuff, and in fairness to them, it's no harm. Most of Irish radio is a bit on the crap side of things, to say the least. If you're not into pop music or mainstream stuff, you're fairly left out in the cold, by and large. And I am not into pop music at all. So let's see if we can get better reception elsewhere. Oh. The noises along the band are incredible. Okay, so that's about as much as you're getting on the long wave band. So let's try medium wave, see what we get there. I suspect nothing. I suppose the unfortunate fact of this not having FM is that it's just not as usable. I mean, there's nothing on it really anymore. I can assure you there's definitely nothing on shortwave 2, so we'll try shortwave 1. The needle is catching on the light bulb side. The light bulb, for some reason, is too big, so I need to get a smaller one, the correct one for it. I think that's just too many... it's actually too bright for it as well too, so it will need to be changed. But anyway, you can see that it is actually working. But only on, like, long wave is all you can get anything on.
Good afternoon, Joe. Thank you. Yes,
it's very hard to illustrate that at the moment.
Every so often, and we all see him around the bandstand area earlier. The elder gentleman was talking about, and he would be in a sleeping bag all the time, sitting alone in a sleeping bag, either on the seat, or in the bandstand itself, maybe just looking straight ahead. Now, we have spoken to him every time we've been there, and we brought some stuff for him as well too, and delighted with all that as well. But he doesn't have facilities to wash. He is French.
This is one of 2 valve radios I own. The other one is not working, but it will hopefully. I intend to do a repair on it. The main power capacitor is gone, and unfortunately it doesn't have FM on it either, so I might have to try and do some modifications on it to try and get it to make it usable again. But you know, I mean, I suppose you can keep these things as antiques and keep them completely original, and that's all well and good, but you know, when they're literally just ornaments to sit on a shelf, it sort of defeats the purpose of it, like defeats their originally intended purpose. Which is a shame in a sense. I mean, and if you can bring it back to life in a sort of a 21st century way, then why not? Now, I'll keep all the original circuitry intact there. If you have a look at the back of the cover here for it, you can see an external aerial connection, pickup, which is your for your gramophone, and an external loudspeaker. And then you can see the serial number. There's the serial number for any serial number nerds, or for anybody who has any information about this. I know it was built by Bush Radio in Santry in Dublin. That would be North Dublin County, just north of the city, between the city and the airport. And they had a factory there, and this radio would have been built there for the Irish market specifically. They made a lot of radios here. That's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, you don't see made in Ireland and a huge amount of electronics anymore. It all comes from China. But there you go. If you have any further information about this radio, or you have any insights about it, or even questions that you think I might be able to answer, please do post them in the comment section. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to put some more videos up over the next while, showing some more of the kind of antiquities I have around. I have a few nice little bits and pieces. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.